McKenna, since she was born, really, she came out with big personality. The first thing that I was just absolutely in awe of, and everybody continued to be in awe of, was her hair. She was born with, we call it like the Elvis do. It continued to grow, but it was like dark brown with like blonde tips.
Yeah.
And as McKenna got older, her hair continued to grow and shine like Rapunzel, really.
And I would do it up and do it down, and I would braid it. She was the best little doll. I would dress her up, and I would do her makeup, and then we'd go put on a show down here. We were all watching a show or a movie or something like that. And McKenna went to like the bathroom, and she went to the upstairs bathroom. She grabbed a razor. She shaved off her eyebrow. But we didn't know. She came back down here. And then my mom just starts dying laughing, and she was just in shock too. She was like, she shaved off both of her eyebrows. And she was so upset because she was like, I don't want to go to school tomorrow. I have to go to school. So my mom drew her on some eyebrows, and she's like, I don't like that either. So, yeah, that just shows how goofy McKenna was. She was always getting into some sort of orneriness, not necessarily trouble, but.
Well, McKenna, since she was, 2, has been in love with makeup and the idea of makeup and mom's things and Avery's things and really all things girly, right? Yeah. So McKenna would sneak into my bathroom or Avery's bedroom, truly up until even like a week ago.
Forever.
To use lip gloss or spray perfume. And
Jameson was truly her partner in crime.
Yes.
They would constantly be getting into trouble together. The funniest stories would always come out at this table right here when we would play rummy and cards and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she is quite a feisty one at night, but she is the best hugger, and Avery and I would always crack up because she is a hard kisser. Like, you know, when McKenna gives you a kiss, like on the cheek, it is literally you can feel it with her whole body, right?
It's like muscle.
I agree. And so she would, just give the best hugs and the hardest pecks, yes. We decided that we would get not an RV, it was a VW, what we referred to as the hippie van. And so it was essentially a pop-up VW van, so the girls got to sleep up top, and Jameson was small enough that the three of us slept on the bottom, and we toured Hawaii for a week in this van. And so we camped and really got to engross ourselves in nature and the culture and experience Hawaii, I think, in a different way than a lot of people do in a beach resort. Yeah. Anytime there was a short mile hike to a waterfall or there was a lookout of any sort, she was the first to hop out of the car and go. And, you know, Avery and Jameson are like, ugh, another one. Like, do we have to go see this? And that was never the response that you got from McKenna. Her appetite just for life and to experience and take everything in was amazing. We found out that in August that McKenna, on the very first day of school, was diagnosed with a large brain tumor. And I had to call Keith and tell him to meet us at Children's Mercy. And 2 days later, she had a total resection to remove the brain tumor. But even in that time from the immediate diagnosis, I think shock, but also she continued to look to me and her dad for support and guidance, and always, if we were okay, McKenna was okay. Her and Keith had a special bond together. When Keith Royer is in the room, he's there. You know. And McKenna was the same kind of way. And then you get the two of them together, and
they're crazy.
They're hams together, she was just always right there. She loved climbing with Keith and Jameson. Dad, Keith, is and quite enjoys climbing, and so she would be, even in the midst of doing radiation, she, I think, was like in week 4, and all day had done some resting, and Keith said that he was going to go over to the climbing gym, and she just jumped at the opportunity, and Keith kind of looked at me like, is that okay? And I said, let's all go. And she did. She put on her belay and just climbed to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what she does. And just attacked the wall with a fierce and mighty strength that she's continued to do. McKenna had a desire to accept Christ and to be baptized, and that was became something that was very important to her, and we were able to do that at our family farm. And through the last year, I think that she continued to grow, and I loved watching her start to pray on her own, and to really start professing, maybe the desires of her heart, but also to live, with such grace and gratitude, and just watching her just kind of blossom in her faith, and always looking up again to Avery for a lot of that. Like, she was so excited to be able to be a middle schooler and to be able to get to do middle school things at church on Wednesday nights. She's been waiting for that for a really long time, and so we were excited for that for her.
I was so excited to welcome her to every single Wednesday night at Westside. She's the first person I would think of when thinking of something like that, or all of my first experiences, and yeah, I was just really excited to do that with her.
The treatment, now looking back, was secondary to really what the plan was. And the plan was to have concentrated, uninterrupted time as family without the external pulls of work or school or friends, and time that we got to spend, and not all people get to do that. I think the one thing that I want everybody to walk away with is the to know that we want you to say McKenna's name, and to share stories, and tell us that you're thinking of her, or to tell us she showed up in your dreams, or you saw something that made you think of her or our family, because those things, I think, are going to be so important for Jameson and Keith and me and Avery to cling to in the coming days and many, many, many years ahead.